Sometimes you need a day of doing things that make you feel lighter, things that kind of feed your soul a little. So in this video, I planned a day filled with activities to do that, stuff to make me feel good. I wanted to have a self-care day, I wanted to inspire you to have a self-care day, and I wanted to give you some ideas for things that you can fill your self-care days with. Good morning. So I actually got out of bed at about 4:30 a.m, not by choice, my body woke me up, and then I headed to the beach. I wanted to spend as much time as I could in nature today. Every morning I try to write out a gratitude list, but I wanted to go the extra mile today to fill myself with all the self-care vibes, so I actually wrote down 25 things that I was grateful for. Expressing regular gratitude, especially when you focus on different items and include a why, can rewire your brain to scan the world for the positive instead of the negative. Just 21 days of gratitude has been shown to turn low-level pessimists into low-level optimists. I put on some meditation for that spiritual self-care. Meditating in nature always feels so uplifting. I always feel so light afterwards. The meditation that I did is one that I recommended before, loving kindness. I did a loving kindness meditation because of some of the benefits that I talked about in my practical self-love video, and it just genuinely fills me with loving and kind vibes, which are the kind of vibes that I wanted to kick off my day with. Something that you don't really think about when it comes to doing things that make you feel good is that doing things that make you feel good, it actually takes effort. Like, there have been so many times when I've just had afternoons free where I'm like, ugh, like I don't feel like doing any work like on the weekend, and I could go to the park, read a book, have a chill, refresh my mind, but it's so much easier to stay in and watch Netflix. And one definitely makes me feel way better and way more refreshed than the other. I wanted to do some physical self-care today as well, so I went to a free meditation and gentle exercise class. So I just wanted to stay outside as much as I could and feel really comfortable while exercising. So I chose a class that I figured would be mostly made up of older people, where the exercise wasn't too daunting. It was definitely one of the most interesting exercise classes I've ever been to. It was like all of the instructions were in Chinese, which was sweet because the guy was just like, do you want me to show you? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to show me. I think it might be like Tai Chi because you're like holding all of these movements for like long periods of time, like 15 minutes. My arms got so heavy. By that time, I was definitely ready for food, so I made some avocado on toast and threw in some mushrooms, spinach, and cherry tomato just to make it more interesting. I really know how to make a plate look Instagrammable. So in the book, The Happiness Advantage, they talk about this one happiness habit that can have the biggest impact on your life, which is writing thank you notes for 21 days. But today I thought, since this time is kind of when I get my low, like not my low, just the day starts to feel a little bit less magical around like 11 a.m. I'd bring myself back up to a high by doing a big ass thank you note. So when I was in grade 4, we had reading groups. Reading groups could earn points by the people in them reading pages of books. At that age, I never read any books. However, I did not want to let the team down. So what I would do is read Dr. Seuss books. Dr. Seuss books literally have like one line per page. So I could read like 25 pages and it would take me a second. I was a real goody two-shoes, so it wasn't as if I was gonna lie about reading a book. Like, I had to physically read the Dr. Seuss book and then I would write that down on our point sheet. So anyway, one day my teacher, Mr. Gardner, he saw that I'd written down a Dr. Seuss book and he called me out on it. I got so embarrassed that it forced me to read real books. The next week I read The Magic Wishing Chair. I still remember sitting on top of the bag rack reading my 100th page and being so proud of myself that I'd read 100 pages of a book, and from there on I was a book lover. I was the kid that literally hid in my closet because I was reading in the morning and I didn't want to go to school. I get 20 books out from the library at a time. I couldn't tell you how many Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books that I read. I don't know how many times I've read Harry Potter. And it all started thanks to Mr. Gardner in my grade 4 class. So Mr. Gardner deserves a big old thank you. So I have to track down his email address. I don't think I'll be able to. I think I'm just gonna have to email the school and be like, hey, could you possibly pass this on if you have the contact details? Regardless, I know that writing it out will make me feel good, because really, thank you notes, it's almost selfish. Like, you feel good and the other person feels good, so it's a big win-win all round. So I'm gonna type something up and then track down a contact for the school. After that, I headed to grade greenhouse, the bathhouse, for some social and physical self-care. So I've had this place on my list of local adventures for a while, and I booked it in with Elisa, who is an angel on earth. It was just as pretty as the Instagram photos. We sweated it out in the peppermint infused steam room, went into the magnesium pool, went to the spa, drank herbal tea. It was super refreshing. I literally feel so fresh. Now I'm in a park and it's my favorite park. I'm under my tree. No one is ever under this tree and it's my absolute favorite tree in the park. It just has this big shady bit under it and it's just, oh, it's so nice. I have my snacks. I have a book on why nature is so good for you, just confirmation bias galore. I honestly couldn't have planned a better self-care day. The book that I read was called The Nature Fix. It went in depth on the benefits of nature. 15 minutes in the woods has been shown to reduce test subjects' levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. When you increase that exposure to nature to 45 minutes, most individuals experience improvements in cognitive performance. When I got home, I did some boring self-care and put clean covers on my couch. I put away my clothes and I finally put a bunch of bags that were sitting near the door into my car for when I go to the shops. Before I settled down, I did a self-compassion journaling exercise that I've been wanting to do from selfcompassion.org. You write about an imperfection or flaw from your own point of view, how you feel about it, and then you create an imaginary friend filled with compassion and love and understanding, and you write about that flaw from their perspective. You write a letter to yourself from them. So I really loved doing this exercise. It made me rethink something that's been gnawing at my mind for a little while. My self-care day was on a Sunday. Sunday is Philosophical Sunday for Luke and I, so we get takeout and we usually watch a documentary. So we got sushi and we watched The True Cost. The True Cost is all about making you rethink the way that you buy clothes, making you rethink the origin of your clothes, and realizing how much of an impact the clothing industry in general is having on the world. I've actually watched it once before, but I needed a reminder of why I am trying to buy more ethically and more sustainably, because I just haven't been that good with it, and sometimes you just need to be reminded of your why. If you liked this video, you might like to watch a video where I do kind of the flip side of this, kind of not, and I have a super productive day and walk you guys through it. I'll have that linked on the screen and below.